I've been at Sent Church for 23 years, and I came in 1992, and then several years later in 1999. Group went to Peru, and I decided to join. I'm not really sure why, but in a short time, God used the people on the trip to talk to me and to tell me that He had plans for me. That plan was to go to the mission field, and I was like, that's crazy. I'm not ready for that. I'm not prepared. I don't have the background for that, but I said yes. I said yes then, not really sure exactly what that would look like, and so I came back, started going to seminary, knew that I wasn't going to go immediately. Like, I didn't have a sense that I had to go immediately, but that I needed to be preparing. But at the same time, I started to question, was this really what I was supposed to be doing? And the more time went on, the more I questioned it. But I knew God had told me this. And then in 2002, I went to Africa for the first time and just really felt a connection. But as time went on, I could sense that I was starting to question things and doubting myself and probably doubting God. And then in 2007, there was a team going to Africa again, and I said, I want to go, but I want to go because I want to know if I'm being called. And it's funny because on the trip I said, it doesn't look like I'm being called. But shortly after we got back, I had a meeting with the pastor, and he asked me point blank, will you go? And it took me, some time, maybe about a week, but I said yes, and I knew that I was going. And when I finally told people that it was happening, everybody was like, oh, it's about time. So my questioning of what God had called me wasn't really that much of a question. People knew that about me. And so in 2008, I quit my job, sold my house while I was in Africa. I sold my car. I got rid of a lot of stuff, and I moved to Africa. And the day after I got there, things changed, and my role changed, and I did completely different things than I thought I would do in the 2 years that I was there. And then I worked as an executive assistant, which isn't really a wiring I would have thought I had, and I learned a lot through that. And then he used me to help in another organization that did anti-trafficking work and AIDS education, and I helped lead that group. I didn't realize that I would be used the way I was. Wasn't the way I planned it, but I wouldn't change it. I would do it again if God told me to. It's just an interesting thing when God says, will you do it? And you have to say yes or no. One interesting thing in Africa, in South Africa and Swaziland, the word for yes is yebo. And if you take the words yebo and you turn them around, it says obey. I am Dawn Drenthey, and I am sent.